Silwan, population 55,000, located just outside Jerusalem's Old City walls. The State of Israel aims to turn Silwan into a biblical tourist site, populated with Jewish settlers, many of whom are from the United States.
We're talking about a silent transfer policy being practiced against people who are living here. Everything they are doing is just for people to, at the end, to decide to leave the area. Talking about demolition, it's one technique. %60% of houses in Silwan have demolition orders. So what the people will do when they come and demolish their houses? Where they will go?
Sahar Abbasi Bedan is a director at the Mada Creative Center, one of several community centers in Silwan which support the struggle of Palestinians to remain on their lands. In the summer of 2015, the Silwan community invited Art Forces, an artist-activist organization from the United States, to work with them on murals expressing the idea, to exist is to resist. Art Forces has worked with communities in occupied Palestine's West Bank and Gaza since 2001. In Silwan, we painted murals on Wadi Hillway Street and on the Mada Creative Center Clubhouse.
تبين الرسومات هاي اللباس التراث الفلسطيني لأجدادنا زمان، وبرضه ضروري إنه تكون هاي الرسومات لأنه تثبت هويتنا وبتفرجي برضه تراثنا القديم حتى نحافظ على تراثنا.
When we were talking to people about what they wanted to see in the mural, one thing that they wanted was a representation of the Silwan pools.
Silwan's pools, they are the symbols of Silwan. Since 5,000 years ago, in my childhood, I was going there. Now my children, they're not allowed.
The Israeli occupation has taken over the Silwan pools, making them part of the City of David tourist complex, which is visited by 400,000 people each year. Israel searches for archaeological proof that the City of David actually existed to try to link the Bible story of a Jewish kingdom of David to the modern Israeli state. Israel uses this to justify dispossessing Palestinians, confiscating and demolishing their property, and attempting to erase all visible traces of Palestinian history and presence. It used to be that people would come here to see the archaeological remains, and they would go to the center and they would actually interact with the community here in Silwan, the Palestinian community. But in the last couple of years, the Israelis built a tunnel, so tourists go under the tunnel straight to the pools, and they don't have to interact at all with the Palestinians and don't even know that they're here.
It was very important for us to paint on the walls to show it's a Palestinian neighborhood, first of all. Also, it's good because the occupation municipality does not make the walls, the houses, nothing, it looks nice. So at least a nice wall that people can see something with a little bit of life. And also, it's very important to say here, it's our friends from they came to do it.
Jawad Siam directs the Wadi Hilway Information Center, which publishes daily eyewitness accounts of the occupation and provides support and services for Palestinians in Silwan who are facing dispossession by Israel.
بنحس إنه هذه الرسومات تعطينا دعم وبتقوي صمودنا على أرضنا. بيوتيفول حلوة. شكرا لكم كثير 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 حلوة. Thank you.
Khalid Zir was part of the entire mural process, from priming the walls to making sure we had enough to eat, often delivering his wife's delicious home-cooked meals. Khalid's family has lived on the same land for generations.
يعني أقدموا هدموا منزلنا الساعة 6 الصبح وطحونا زتونا في الشارع.
The first time Khalid Zir's home was demolished, he moved his family into a cave that he once used as a stable, located at the back of his property.
5 baby children and wife here. You see? We come here and family sleep here 3 months. فسكنت في المغارة، حتى من المغارة طحونا. بنيت كمان مرة هون هير. كمان هدموا لي إياه.
Khalid was denied a permit to rebuild his home, and so he built this playground and garden where his home once stood.
يعني أنا بنيت هون، نعم فيش معي ترخيص وما أعطوني ترخيص. بالمقابل المستوطنين في نفس البلد وبيبعدوش عني إلا أمتار قليلة بنوا عمارات وطبقات وما خلفوهم ولا هدموا لهم. أنا بيمارسوا علي الممنوع وممنوع تزرع. هذه شايفتيها الجنينة هذه سووا لي محكمة عليها وبدهم يهدموها.
Because many times we put Palestinian flag on our houses, even is what they are doing is legal.
Yeah.
But they came and they broke it and they took it down. You know, we don't want to give them excuse.
Yeah.
Just to delete all the things that we did.
Okay. So what's going on here now?
We have to change the flag now, so we can't keep the flag just for like that publicly, for the safety of the family and the house. So we're gonna keep the colors, but we're gonna try to create some kind of geometrical shape or pattern that allows us to keep the colors, but isn't like a flag right in your face.
شيء يخصنا احنا، هذا من الأصالة تبعتنا، شيء راقي جدا يعني، نحن متمسكين في هاي الأشياء، وهذا شيء كثير مرتب، يعني شيء احنا بنعتز فيه طول عمرنا.
3 months after we left, the Israeli municipality destroyed the mural Presence of Absence to placate complaints by Jewish settlers. It was too much of a reminder that Silwan is an ancient Palestinian village. Soon after that, Khalid Zir's garden and all playground equipment was demolished once again.
هذول ناس ما فيش حدا يصدهم، يقول لهم كفى. إن كان أمريكا أو أوروبا، بالعكس هذول الدول هم اللي بيعينوا هذول الصهاينة يمارسوا العنف ضدنا، إن كان بدعمهم بالسلاح أو بالطيارات أو بالدبابات أو بالأموال. أنا بقول لهم يعني ينصروا المظلوم بغض النظر شو ديانته، بغض النظر شو عرقه، وين بلده.
Ahmed Karim owns a store we shopped in daily. A couple of years ago, he was shot and disabled by settlers.
I saw many people shouting. I asked them what happened. They told me that these two settlers were hitting the kids in the street. I looked for my two kids. Suddenly I saw one of these two settlers put his M16 on my son. He was 9 years old. He said, if you touch me, I will shoot you. Okay, but I want to speak to you, to ask you what happened. If they did something wrong to you, you have the gun guard. They were looking, they see everything. You have the policeman, you can tell them to, but you cannot do it by your hand. He said, no, I can do everything, and suddenly he shot me. All the people were in shock. Why? They didn't know why he shot me. I fell down. The people start shouting. He went down again, and he shot another boy. Was riding a bicycle, 13 years old, and came back to me while my two sons crying, and I was bleeding. He shot me the second one, the second leg, and he ran away. For him, the policeman arrested him only 24 hours. They released him. I did 7 surgeries in my 2 legs. After 24 hours when he shot me, they came and they arrested my 2 kids. They took them to an investigation. And the general question that they asked them, why you were playing in the street? They didn't ask them who shot your father, why he shot your father. They asked them, they told them, you were playing in the street, so because that your father get shot. My sons came back to the hospital to visit me, and they were afraid. I asked them what happened. They wanted to tell me we are sorry because we were playing in the street.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what it's like when you see settlers walking by.
نشعر بالخوف يعني مش كتير نصير نعيط. نشعر بالخوف يمكن يهجم علينا أو يعتقلنا.
Has he ever been arrested?
عمرهم اعتقلوك في أمجد؟ لا. لا.
في حالات إجت يعني اعتقلوا مثلا صحابي.
I spent a lot of time with this man who was murdered by 2 settlers who planned it out. They planned that it was going to be him, and they followed him, and then they killed him. And I also spend a lot of time with this face, who was a younger man who was killed more recently, and all of the kids recognize him.
You know him?
Yes.
Do you know him too, Susie?
Yes. He's brother's friend. ميلاد عياش. محمد أبو خضير. And the little boy in Nablus.
You know, everyone is talking about, and everyone see that there is love here in the village, that we want to stay in the village. That makes people being connected to the village.
Whatever they do, we will stay here. Because my homeland is not a suitcase, I am not a traveler.
وطني ليس حقيبة يا جرحي المكابر وطني ليس